Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. This is another Nexus Wars Gamecast, but this is not just like any Nexus Wars Gamecast. This is a Nexus War that lasted for about an hour, and I was able to make 5 Odins in this game. What's really interesting, if you guys are familiar with Nexus Wars, you know if you mouse over the info panel, the Nexus Wars info panel, you can see how many games different people have won. And we lost the Voidwalker. He went away. And we have 1% here who has only 1 win and 0 losses. And then they got about 15 wins. I've got about 24. We're up against 164 wins, 63 and 53. So Israel, my partner here in blue, says, okay, one guy's AFK and then one guy left. So one guy leaving, good, because we get his money. But the AFK, not so good. So 1% here who has only 1 win. And yet he has the hybrid, which is only given if you have 500 wins. So, you know, I've seen these things that look like AFK where somebody's gone just for a moment or whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and resuscitate this guy. I'm going to just move my worker back and forth until he wakes up. And then lo and behold, boom, he is active. He is doing something. He went right for a pylon instead of a building. Pylon first. Okay. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So we see a steady stream of units from our opponents here. Batas, I can't say that. Bat, Hero 2, Julio's got a combo here, and just a Zealot. So what happens in this game is, because he's saving up, you know, there's only, we lost a guy. It's a very interesting game. So I'm working top. Our partner Izzy is working bottom, and he is just not doing anything but fighting. So we have, you know, they're up on our base, they're up on our ramp. We're barely holding by just fighting with our workers. Luckily, at this stage in the game, we have all three of us are up here fighting. You can see, and he took control of Voidwalker, of his SCV as well. Let's see. Izzy's down here all by himself. He's got his units fighting. Remember, there's 2 guys on the bottom, 2 guys on the top, and we have the production of 1 each on top and bottom. So I did not even see him drop this at first. I didn't see him zap down here and pick this up. So I'm asking, hey, are you saving up? But if you look at, he's got more income than we do, because he's got the pylon. And he's got more income than anybody else as well. So if I click on his unit here, well, we can see while I have it selected, he's got 167. He's probably going to save up to upgrade that pylon, because he doesn't make any buildings for quite a while. So now he dropped a pylon for Voidwalker as well. Now I believe that used all of our money to do that when he did that, because we're sharing that, or that was his money. I don't know. I got a miserable income of just 19. I'm saving up for tanks, so I've got, I did want to get this, it's a little bit of anti-air. My strategy is going to be tanks with Vikings. Heavy ground, heavy air. I haven't done that yet. I've kind of seen it a little bit, and I recently just had one of these things where I figured, oh, that'll be a good idea. What we did is we fought with our workers. We fought with our workers. By the way, if you go off the low ground, your workers disappear, go right back to the Nexus, so you should see these guys racing back out here to fight. With our workers and the units we had were enough to hold them while 1% gets his pylons, and I'm building up as well, and soon we're going to get a tank building. Here's the tank building coming. I'm going to do some pom-pom damage here in a moment. Here's Harito, and well, Izzy's fighting back here. Just got these couple units. The thing is that they're not synced in any way, so we can attack them, you know, individually instead of all of them coming out at once. So we're holding the line, You're going to take a look at everything. We see stuff streaming across. No pylons, I don't think, for any of our... Oh, the 1 pylon for Pat, who's down here. A couple buildings and 1 pylon. So if we take a look at their view, so he's up at 32. 1%'s only at 26. Izzy's at 44 now. 25 and 26. So we're, you know, most income's at 26, but somehow Izzy's up to 44. Izzy, you crazy bastard, you've got 6 buildings now. It's a great way to get a lot of income, is just make a lot of buildings. So we have one level 1 pylon here, and there's still no buildings from 1% at all. So now the tank is out. It's doing terrible damage, but it's getting focused down. You know, the Lings aggro and all this stuff here is able to basically take down those first early tanks. I get another. Instead of spending the money on another tank, which was getting focused down, I decided to get a smaller, cheaper unit that would just help even out when we have all these sentries coming at us. Now, there's just a lot of sentry, a lot of roach. I see this a lot where they'll just do like, they have a certain build of sentries and roaches, then maybe they'll add immortals behind this and just build these little, you know, clusters of attacking units. This guy here, Betty is quite organized except for the stuff he has scattered all over. Julio, it's got kind of two race thing going on here. Remember, we're holding the line against two guys. 1% has his own income. He's not building any buildings yet. There are no yellow buildings down. We're just fighting with our workers and with our units as they stream across. You notice it's just a constant stream of units, not very well grouped up. Which, you know, if they had synced up a little bit more, we might be in trouble. When we fight with our units, kind of turning the tide, we're just buying time in the early game here. So we see, is he still, okay, he's finally at level 2 now. Let's take a look at what his income is. He's up to 42 with no buildings whatsoever. So I got two, my sentry's able to take out the air units, you know, which would normally just wreak havoc on things like tanks. Again, just, you know, now we got like mass tanks down here. Both of these units do pretty good against tanks, stalkers and marauders, but they're not like immortals. They're not like the hard counter to tanks. Let's take a look and see what's going on across the bay here. Here we go. You know, sentries and roaches. We'd like to see what he builds next. His heir, Julio's heirs back there. Baddies, Zergling box. So we got a lot of marauders and reapers down here. You know, thinking, hey, that's going to be the answer for all these tanks. Still fighting. We've never left. If you look at our vision, you know, well, it doesn't show you how far you've seen, but we've never seen one building up here. If you look at their building, they know they've been this far up. They've been all the way up on our high ground, and I think you're going to see it again here. That's just a lot of sentries. Finally drop a cannon here. Luckily, they don't have the kind of units that just destroy cannons. It's not tanks and immortals early on. They're just, you know, a lot of light units. There are a lot of them though, and that tank is slowly doing work. We're going to go ahead and chrono boost this cannon here in a second. It's going to speed it up. There's a chrono, doubles the speed of the cannon, starts acting like a little chalupa here, and then the units come out, and that tank almost dies, but now it's starting to go back up. There we go. It's got a little bit under 200, and now we're going to hold this. And there's just wave after wave of units coming in. We haven't seen what that third building is yet. So, you know, holding the line. Julio is now level 3. His income is 74. He's starting to pull ahead. And his first building, Zealot. Of course, he's got to build up the tree just like anybody else. Now he's up to 77 income. Izzy's at 100. I'm at a lame 56. You know, that's more than most of the guys over there. But again, we are sharing the income of one of the guys who left. So we got the cannon. We're just holding our ground here while Izzy starts to build up. He's getting his stalker. He's going air. So he's got what he needs, so now he can drop a Phoenix building and start getting his air units. I've got my air unit. Remember, I'm going to go tank and Viking to push this out. So I'm getting to the point where my tanks are in sufficient numbers to start pushing. So we got some issues down at the bottom. Thor's firing, but getting focused down by the marauders. Let's see here. So we got the that was the noise I just heard for the Viking is ready. Still, he's at level 3. He's got only one pylon. I got a pylon. So, talking about income as we slowly just push out here. Looks like we're going to need a cannon on the bottom here in just a second. Get rid of that cannon killer immortal. That's good. So, you know, I can't close the scoreboard to show the team income, which would be better because there is some aggregation as we did lose a guy. But so we're about 200, 300 income. 60, 120, 180. I think we're just out edging them on income, just a little bit, mainly because of this. So we got one guy at 190, 119. Now he's up to 100, and that's because this building here. Did he upgrade that pylon yet? That was level 3. We're starting to push out here. Starting to push out here. Izzy just has an excellent build that generated a lot of income for him. Yep, storming tanks, not the most efficient use of storm, and then tanks and everything else is going to insta-kill your storm assassin, I think it's called. There's a little bit of air units. We can tell he's committing a little more to air, but there's a Viking and a Phoenix here. They're going to make short work of whatever's in the air here. And look at that distance. Even though these guys are pulling far ahead, the Viking does have, he can probably shoot further than he can see at this point, because they should give the Viking more vision. So we're at 84, 100, 150, got 100, 89, 89, 93. So they're not schleps. They're pushing hard here. Okay, here comes the Infestors. What's going to back each of these? Alrighty. Pylons down. We got level 3 pylon for him. Level 3 pylon here. So what's interesting is that we did all that, and at first he just saved up for his pylons, and then have started to go straight for this tech. Where I don't know if that's any better than just building some buildings and then getting a pylon and incrementing up. So we push all the way up here. We pushed across the board now. There's those tanks. There's those Vikings. My master plan is working. Got Broodlords. Yay for Vikings. Kill the Broodlords. And the Phoenix. Everybody kill the Broodlords. Now, there's a chalupa down here. Batty did not make a chalupa out of his. He doesn't quite have enough money. And the thing about what we have are tanks and immortals kill cannons, especially when they're not chalupas. Actually, I don't know if a chalupa has any more health. Yeah, it's got 1,000 more health than a regular cannon. But you see us, we're able to get rid of that one cannon. It's going to make another one. Probably, let's see what happens to that one when there's this many tanks. Here we got 5 tanks. And of course, he's got, everything is firing down on us now between the Broodlord stuff, and they're pushing out. They got a lot of tanks, but look, there's Izzy's got air to help support those Thors. Still not seeing the big, here it comes. The carrier is getting built. Oh, and he 1% did drop a few buildings back here that I did not see earlier. Storm Assassins, and he's building along the center line. Anything you build that touches the line, don't have to be directly on it, but see how you can build 2 buildings, and they'll straddle the line, that you can direct these north or south. So he's going to basically help push the lanes wherever we need the help. The one thing to note is that even though we're getting pushed back after the cannon experience, there's a slow pushback, because the units we have are pretty good against everything that he's got. So they're not just walking out here and just steamrolling us. Their stuff is coming out here and dying and slowly making the push, because they had a little bit of a defender's advantage. But this push is not rocketing along. As a matter of fact, you'll notice a little bit of a pause here as I just synced up all my buildings. So they would all come out at once. So they're going to get a little bit of a push. But again, look at us. We're still pushing pretty good there. Things are a little more chaotic down here. We're wondering what's going to happen, and because of that delay, you're going to see their push kind of rocket forward here in just a second. But here comes more stuff. He's building stuff that's dedicated at the top because it's not straddling this line, so all these things will always go north, including his upgrade buildings. So let's see, what's he upgrading? Anything? Everything still says 1. Hasn't upgraded anything yet. Interesting that he has one of those so early. Income wise, he's up to 212. Izzy's at 240. Izzy's just killing it with his buildings. He's just, now we got a level 4 pylon. Still only got a level 1 though. So we now have a carrier out, pushing the bottom. Again, so finally they got to that point where I guess that delay in the units, and now we're meeting kind of a bigger ball. Things are going to get a little bit weird here, because they're going to just steamroll everything we've got. The Festaterans, going after our Vikings. That's about it. So also the Festaterans actually can shoot air. They have a little damage 10, kind of a decent do a decent amount of damage themselves. So I didn't even see these 3 carriers come in, and I made a chalupa back here, and oops, because I wasn't watching him build 4 carrier buildings down here. I knew he dropped 1, but we saw that in the replay, but I didn't see it in real time. So yeah, I was so happy that carriers have arrived. That's a big deal. Proness. Oh, okay. Didn't count on my prona. He's a pro. Interesting thing, about some of these flying units is they call some of the ground air. They cause some of the ground units to I think fungal growth or something. Just is that just a bunch of Marines they pooped out? But yeah, this is just going to get cleaned up. We're pushing high and low right now. So it's a lot of Vikings and it's a lot of tanks. That is exactly the strategy. I got a little extra income here too, so that's going to be fun. So I mean, a little extra supply because one guy is out. Income-wise, let's take a look and see what everybody's doing here. So there's the look at a double infester behind. Let me before I get to the income, I just want to talk about this double infester stuff. Starting to get Scourge. As he sees, we have air, Broodlord, and Scourge, top and able to go top and bottom. Immortal, carrier, just a little bit of everything from our opponents here. We are at 250, 260, 186, 330. Over 182, 27, 182, 227. So Izzy's concerned that we're starting to get pushed back, and 1% says nope, no such thing. He's going to send his units. He's got Scourge now and carriers to help clean up what's going to happen down here. Now this is 22 minutes into a rather long game. Let's go ahead and close that down. You don't want to see how what lies ahead. It just ruins everything. We're pushing pretty good. We got Vikings up here. We have carriers up here. Pretty much just annihilating everything here. Tanks are good for there's some ground units coming, so the tanks kind of help kill what's on the ground. And then he doesn't think he can compete, and then all of a sudden everything shows up all at once because those are taking a while to build. And so Izzy, just like I was, scared. And then 1% comes in with his proness. He's like, never mind. So now I can't see what our opponents are saying because this is my replay. I'm sure they're talking too. They've got a lot of cannons. They got chalupas. They don't have any cannons down to the bottom because they don't need them right now. Lots of Viking buildings going down. So we're finally getting in range of. Oh, I hate Scourge. It is truly the scourge of the earth. So we finally lost a carrier there, probably a couple carriers. So here come the, so there's some buildings down here. I mean, so there's a chalupa way down here. And what that does is it kind of thins the army out when you do stuff like this. You have buildings across the bottom. Instead of everybody coming up top and attacking these cannons here, they kind of get strung out. They shoot down here. They go up and fight the main army down there. It's a pretty good tactic to build along this middle line in the middle. You can see we're doing the same thing down here. We're pushing out really good, just like one-shotting everything that's coming in at this point. The Thors can also help and shoot up at all this this anti-air in the middle. Let's see here. We're all like in the 300s. Man, Izzy's just incredible. With nothing special, he's at 550. So here you can see that they're over 1,000 in income, and we are at we are obviously like 1,200 income. So we've got a little more income than they do. Now he's getting up there. I'm gonna say we're just barely leading them in income. We weren't like, wasn't anything special. Let's put it that way. So, but what we do have is a really, good unit capability of sending these carriers and Scourge north or south wherever they're needed. I'll tell you, when he pulled them away from the top channel and he sent those to the bottom channel, I felt it. We got pushed back pretty hard. See all the yellow down here, just all the carrier interceptors, just this big blob as they fire out over the enemy units. So you can tell where the carriers are on the map by having this extended jet of yellow death. I'm up to a number 4. He's up to a high level 5. I think we're going to start getting some upgrades. So we got upgrade buildings now. Yep, we're up to, let's see. So we got, I got 222s across the board. My tanks are 1-1. We're going to be getting some more upgrades. We're going to see the income. So he's switching his buildings out pretty good so he can reuse that supply. So check out our enemies 3-3. We are 2 and then 4 attack. Still 1-1 here. My air units are 2-2-2. So let's see what production looks like. What upgrades we're working on. I'm not okay. Where am I? I'm up here. So no upgrades at the moment. Probably need a little more money. Only have 130. So we're pushing both lanes pretty good, top and bottom. just a lot of Vikings to counter our, the air capability that we have, the carriers. Let me get rid of that. Bring up resources. It's kind of a good indicator. But the thing about having that many Vikings versus this many Thors, and we have our Dingles, is that those Thors are just going to fire up at those Vikings and clear them out. Of course, a whole new batch of Vikings show up. So at this point, we're let's see. We've got a little bit of, so I think we're leaking up top here. So Izzy's Thors at the bottom are coming up top and helping with the top. So we're actually just all over their top area here. There's this this chalupa is, let's see, where's the nuke at? Oh, the nuke happened down here. Gadoosh. Let's take a look at that nuke real quick though. So Pat, who's on the bottom, used the nuke. Just wanted to see what was here. Boom, top to bottom, pretty good. But Izzy's got a few more Thors up there, and there's some more Thors with Dingles to help heal them up. Of course, sometimes you can't out heal the damage done by carriers, and then that Dingle's going to be gone. So they did a nuke on bottom. They're going to start pushing back on that. Let's see, for like an army value, it doesn't show you that. APM is silly. Income doesn't show you. There's another nuke there. Kaboom! Killed a bunch of stuff, but didn't kill everything. But these tanks are just going to die underneath these brood lords. So yeah, they're going to start pushing back now. But alas, they didn't push too far on bottom, because we have all the carriers and all the Scourge going down bottom. We don't really have the same here. Now I got a Thor out already. We'll go to units. Let's see. There's a Kerrigan and there's a Thor on the field. So Batty has a Kerrigan and I have a Thor, and that's about that's about it. I guess that's the worker there. So one thing I'm doing with this Thor is I'm kind of stay out of it, stay back a ways, and use the anti-air attack, because my Hellfire missiles do 30 damage, and I believe it's splash if it follows from the regular thing. But we got to stay back so not to take the brunt of the attack. But I'm just microing the heck out of this Thor here. I'm just going to pause real quick and come down here and just take a look, see what's going on.